Well, major news in the state's distribution and logistics sector as the Ports of Indiana making an announcement that Metro Ports, one of the best known and oldest port operators in the United States, will become the new bulk terminal operator at the Port of Indiana Burns Harbor. That effective July 1. And for more on the deal and the potential impact for Indiana, I'm pleased to be joined as always by Rich Cooper, the CEO of the Ports of Indiana, and also Mike Giove, who is the Chief Operating Officer at Nautilus International Holdings Corporation, the holding company for Metro Ports. And gentlemen, welcome as always to Studio I.
Thanks very much, Gary.
Cut right to the chase here, Rich. What's the importance in your view? You're going to have a new operator, bulk operator at the Port of Indiana Burns Harbor. Why is this an important deal in your view?
It's extremely important to us, Gary. You know, our business is made up of break bulk cargoes such as steel, project cargoes, and the things that Burns Harbor has always been noted for and really good at. Northwest Indiana, as you know, is a mecca of steel production, and the steel part of our business has always been exceptional. We've always wanted to improve our bulk business, and I mean improve it in a very big way. It's been good, but in our opinion, there's been room for so much more potential, and we met the folks at Metro Ports, as you just mentioned, the oldest stevedore company in the United States. And it just wasn't how long they've been in business, but after we had an opportunity to meet their senior management team and they brought people to our ports, we thought, wow, these guys, their core competency and their core line of business is bulk stevedoring, and that's exactly what we need.
Yeah. Mike, give us a thumbnail view of the company. Again, a lot of history there dating back, I think, to the Gold Rush days.
That's correct.
Right? And this will be your first operation, not on the coast or the Gulf Coast in the Great Lakes.
This will be our first operation, Great Lakes operation. We've always been East Coast, West Coast, and Gulf Coast. We are a 165-year-old company. We've been a terminal operator, a stevedore. We've handled third-party logistics, warehousing, and such. But this is something that has been on our radar for quite a while. We were waiting for the right opportunity to present itself, and we're very happy to be part of this right now.
What is attractive to you, to the company, in terms of establishing this operation, first operation in the Great Lakes at an Indiana port?
We look at the number of terminals that we currently have, and we basically have 27 operations right now. We look at the terminals that we have, the customers that we have in those terminals. We've already started talking to a lot of those customers, and many of them have already expressed an interest in wanting to take a look at this facility here. We had one come in last week, we have another one coming in this week, and this is just the beginning.
Yeah. We talk about bulk cargo and the difference between break bulk, and industry folks like you all know what's the difference?
You know, to put it in a nutshell, if you can count it, it's break bulk. Okay, by that I mean steel coils, you can count them. Wind energy products, you can count them. When you're looking at bulk, coal, petcoke, sulfur, grain, fertilizer, basically it goes directly up through a conveyor directly into a hatch.
Yeah, and this, Rich, as we were talking off camera, you feel enables the Port of Indiana Burns Harbor to really ramp up that bulk.
I do, Gary. And you know, when you look at the businesses in our port and those businesses around our port, those companies have made, those steel companies, steel processors, machinery, agriculture, energy sector, they've all made huge investments. All those companies use a tremendous amount of bulk raw materials to produce their end product. And they need somebody to handle that and to handle it efficiently. I really see Metro Ports as a game changer. I think they'll impact the supply chains for companies like ArcelorMittal, United States Steel, NLMK, another steel producer at the port, British Petroleum perhaps, Cargill, those kinds of companies. I think we can't wait to introduce Mike and his team to those major players in Northwest Indiana.
In your view, what is the potential? I mean, in terms of new business that you think can happen?
I think in the next 5 years, this company has the potential to double our bulk business at that port, to double it. And there's a lot of internal users at the port who use bulk, and we'll hire Mike's team to handle their bulk commodities. But introducing them to people outside the port, I think that's where the increases will likely come from.
Yeah. Mike, how will this work operationally? You can bring management folks in, work with the existing workforce there?
We're going to be working with the existing labor group that we have over there. From our management side, we're going to have a number of people there initially, and then it'll be down to roughly really about 2 or 3 people, and then really that's it. It's the main thing that we want to emphasize is the labor group that's there is the labor group that we're going to go ahead and utilize.
What do you see as you look at this growth opportunity for the company moving into the Great Lakes? What do you see as growth opportunities as you look out, 5+ years down the road?
When we took a look at the Burns Harbor Terminal going back just a few weeks ago, taking a look at the warehouses, the sheds we call them, that are in place, along with the areas that basically could be utilized for storage, there's just a lot of opportunities. I mean, like I said, we have one customer that's already interested. They're going to go ahead and talk to one of their subsidiaries about a different type of cargo. We have another customer that's interested. This is all within the first couple of weeks, and we already have plans set to go ahead and talk to some of our other customers on the East Coast and the Gulf regarding the business here in the Great Lakes.
Yeah, and I know, Rich, you were talking earlier, thinking this is somewhat comparative to a FedEx hub at Indianapolis International Airport. That kind of potential.
That kind of potential. They've got 27 terminals in 10 states. And the synergies that's going to exist between their existing terminals and Burns Harbor, we can't wait to explore them further. As a matter of fact, Mike is bringing over general managers from those other businesses located in other states to take a look at the operation in Burns, to understand what that business is. And that's how we've been successful growing our business at the ports, is figuring out where are the synergies here, where are those connections, and we'll find that once we meet his other general managers at these other terminals.
Before we leave, I have to ask you about activity at the ports. It's been several really strong years. How's 2017 shaping up at the ports of Indiana?
This first quarter has been a good one. As a matter of fact, it's been the best first quarter in the 56-year history of the ports. And keep in mind, that's on the heels of the 3 best consecutive years of business at the ports of Indiana. So we're optimistic. We're off to a good start, and if we can kickstart this bulk business and start attracting business that we didn't even know was out there, I think we'll have a successful 2017. I sure hope so. That's the expectation.
All right. Well, big news announced this week as the activity continues at the ports of Indiana with the announcement that Metro Ports will become the new bulk terminal operator, the Port of Indiana Burns Harbor. And Rich Cooper from the Ports of Indiana, also Mike Giove from Nautilus International Holdings, Metro Ports. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you both soon.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.